guys, it's Lizette from Crochet Designs, and I'm going to show you how to embroider something onto a doll that you already finished. So, you know, everything is sewn on. Let's ignore the fact that he has one eye and I didn't brush his leg here. But this is Sunlo, in case you didn't know. He's a pattern of mine, and this technique can be used on anything that you've made and after the fact you were like, oh, I need to add a line here or stitching here. That's one reason to do this, and then the other is when it's on purpose. In this situation, he is crocheted and then brushed with a cat brush, and I have a video on that to show you if you haven't done that before. But because of the brushing, you can't sew a clean line and then brush it. It'll fuzz it up. So I want for him to have this sharp eyebrow line like that. So it has to be put on afterwards. He has multiple colors, so the way I used to do it before, if I just sewed this line on and then tried to tie a knot somewhere and then hide it, you would see this color wherever I tied it. We want to be able to hide it where no one can see it. In case you want to know what he's supposed to look like, he is an alien from the sun. This is done with different yarn, it's the same pattern. And he dresses up in a samurai outfit because his goal is to conquer the galaxy, all the planets. And there's going to be a different doll for each planet. And this is what he looks like naked. Okay, so all you're going to need is a yarn needle, and I say this all the time, but get the one that is bent. Fancy scissors, okay, has to be fancy, no, I'm kidding. And then whatever yarn you're going to be doing your embroidery with. I purposely cut this super long, okay? I'm literally only putting that much on, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, and you'll see when we go through the steps why you need so much. Your needle. Step 2, find a spot purposely kind of away from where you want to go. So I want to start here. So let's just say I want to come out here, okay? So I'm going to start somewhere back here, not too far because, you know, your needle's only a certain length. So let's say this is going to be the spot where we begin. So bring your yarn to that hole there. Okay, and then pull it through. You want to leave enough here where you can, you know, physically have enough to tie a knot later. So don't make this too short. I think that's a good enough length. Alright, so do your thing, whatever it is that you planned on sewing onto your doll. And for me, it's literally just a simple line from here to here. So I'm going to go back in, and I need to come out in the same spot I started. So this is why you didn't want to go too far, because you want to be able to reach. And if you need a longer needle, whatever you're using, then, you know, switch to the length you need, or just don't go too far. So this is probably like the hardest part of the whole thing, is trying to come back out. It's got to be the same hole. Okay, so if you look here, I have my beginning and tail end, and both parts just coming out of the same spot. So then you tie a knot. So I tied a knot, and I'm actually going to go ahead and do 2 knots just to be safe. Then here's the trick. So go back into that same spot again. Okay. Come out somewhere far away on purpose, and you know, right now you're going through all this stuffing inside of his head, so that's kind of helping to secure it too. So you're gonna pull enough to make that, you saw how that knot I made just popped right in there? So now the knot is gone. I went through somewhere far, go back in again in the same spot. And again, pick, you know, somewhere like an opposite direction. So let's go down, just come out somewhere. It could be anywhere because you're not going to see any trace of this color. All right, and then watch it disappear. Magic. All right, and then maybe one more time back into the same hole and come out somewhere in an opposite direction. You know, again, you're going through the polyfill stuffing inside of his head, so that is securing it even after doing a knot. All right, and then pull, you know, keep pulling until it disappears. See how I have all this extra? That's just me being like paranoid. You don't want to run out of yarn in the middle of doing all that. And then pull a little tight and cut it, and it should kind of just spring back inside. And if it doesn't, you know, use a needle and poke it back in. But you know, there's nobody knows except you. All right, now we want to hide that. I mean, unless that's your thing and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do a new trend where we kind of leave the tails out. Do you? But I'm gonna hide it. So you're gonna thread it again. This is why you don't want to make it too short. Okay, remember there's a knot right here underneath, so it's already tied down. Go back in, same thing we just did before. Pick somewhere away from it. It's okay if you don't have enough to do like 3 times like I did with the longer part. Again, keep going until you only have like very little left. And so I'm gonna go ahead and hide that little fuzzy part there. I have this little bitty left. I'm just gonna cut that. Pull a little tight so it can go back in easy. And if you still see a little bit, I usually just take the end of my needle and push that inside, and it's gone. Magic. So now I have my one-eyed Sunlo here. But yeah, I'm gonna go back with my brush and hide the holes, but again with regular, like this part here that's not brushed, you wouldn't have to worry about the hole being visible like that. And that is it. I hope this helps, and this is really good for people like me who, like when you're designing something, or if you're doing a custom thing you've never done before and you're not following a pattern, and you know you want to add something on that you thought of after the fact, and that's the way to do it. All right, thanks for watching.